GST settings has to be done for every client from GovReports. Let's see how to set up the GST profile details of the client in this video. After you log into GovReports, from the homepage, select a client. Remember that for any client, all GST-related invoices, bills and GST returns can be done only in Leisure View. On the top right corner, go to Settings by clicking on the gear icon. Click on GST Settings. The GST Settings page opens. While adding a new client, you would have provided details like GSTIN aggregate turnover, return frequency, GSTIN username, etc. All the above details will already be prefilled. Make sure that the details are correct. Click on the Edit button to make any changes. The pan is prefilled with the GSTIN of your client. Select the returns filing method. DSC is the abbreviation of Digital Signature Certificate used for authenticating whether the GST return is done by the corresponding business i.e., your client Venus Electronics. DSC looks like a pen drive used for authentication. DSC must be used by you every time when GST returns are filed for your client. EVC is the abbreviation for Electronic Verification Code. It is used for client authentication in GST portal while filing, similar to DSC. DSC and EVC are two different methods for GST return filing. Your client would have registered for any one of the two methods. Choose the appropriate return filing method which your client has registered for. Make sure that the GSTIN username is same as the username used for logging in GSTIN portal. This helps in establishing a connectivity between GovReports and GSTIN portal. The GST return filing information from GovReports after filing gets updated in GSTIN portal. Enter the aggregate turnover for the preceding financial year. This field is applicable if your client has any turnover last year. If your client's business is new, set the turnover as 0. Enter the aggregate turnover April to June 2017. GST was introduced in July 2017. A financial year is from April 2017 to March 2018. So any turnover prior to the introduction of GSTI.E, from April to June 2017 has to be filled in here. Enter the return frequency. The regular taxpayer can file monthly or quarterly based on the annual aggregate turnover. If the annual aggregate turnover of your client is above ₹1 crore, the return frequency is monthly. If the annual aggregate turnover of your client is ₹1 crore and below, the return frequency is quarterly. The return frequency of a composite taxpayer is always quarterly. Save the details of GST settings. Make sure to do GST settings for all the clients similarly. Thus GST return filing can be handled for your client.